Welcome to the Sarah Sorry podcast. I'm your host, Sarah, and today I'm thrilled to welcome Emily Rogers, as known as DJ Eclipse, founder of Soul Aloe LLC. After a successful corporate career and earning her MBA from UCI, Emily's spiritual journey led her to create Soul Aloe, a Lake Forest-based business offering Reiki, tarot readings, and more. She's also a salsa and bachata dancer turned DJ. Please join me in welcoming Emily Rogers. Hello, Emily.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. I am excited. I met you at Cielo Dance Events, where I teach, where you DJ, and we kind of connected with common theme of spirituality. But this is like our first time really connecting, and so I'm so excited to share this. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what sparked your spiritual journey?
Yeah, of course, I'd be happy to. So I think definitely my whole life has been a spiritual journey, and I think that is the same actually for everyone, is we're all on some sort of a spiritual journey as a human being. I guess just to get really real with it, the part that really was my catalyst for my awakening was last year in 2023. I found myself in a situationship, like in terms of dating, where I was in a complicated kind of love triangle, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And before I really realized how deep in it I was already really invested, and it was hard to pull myself out of it. And I had already done a lot of work on myself my whole life. And then at that period, I was really into positive thinking. So law of attraction and really watching your thoughts, feeling the feelings of what you want to manifest and really focusing on the positive.
Mm-hmm.
But what that experience taught me was I was doing that in this weird kind of situation, but I still got to the point where I was so anxious a lot. And obviously, though, because I put myself in this kind of unstable situation.
Yeah.
So I realized, okay, so maybe just positive thinking is not enough. And I'm going to have to actually look at why I'm making these choices and go deeper into my soul. Like there's something like driving me to put myself in these risky situations where I'm not being treated the way that like I know I should be, but I'm allowing it. So like, why are you doing that? And that was the first time I'd ever thought about doing inner child work, if you've heard of that.
Yes.
Which is probably like a lifelong process, is doing inner child work. So I started that for the first time last year, which eventually led me to this calling inside to do plant medicine. So then I went to Costa Rica and I did a psilocybin mushroom retreat. And it really blew my mind. It was amazing. And after that is when I decided to start Soul Aloe, because of just how impactful releasing all that like grief I had was, and I realized so much about how everything in our life is really on purpose to guide us back to like who we really are. And you need those lows to kind of force you to make those changes. And I just really realized the power of intention and energy after that. And so that's when I started Soul Aloe, and I actually went back to Costa Rica a couple of months ago and did ayahuasca for the first time, which was like really different than mushrooms. So I'm happy to talk about any of that, but definitely learned a lot from that experience.
So beautiful. Yes, I would like to know. I think if you could describe specifically what you did with the inner child work. And
Definitely.
what maybe for some of us, that we don't know about it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually doing more now again because I realized there's more for me to be doing.
Yeah.
But I do kind of think that'll just go on for the rest of my life and
Yeah.
like all of our lives. But I think essentially it's really sitting with yourself in silence,
Okay.
in stillness, and often in meditation, and really picturing like that inner version of you. So
Mhm.
maybe sometimes she's 5 or sometimes she's 7 or 8, and I'll basically in meditation you invite your inner child to join you in your mind,
Gotcha. And it could
and
be any
you
age.
it could be whatever age, yeah,
Whatever
you
comes up.
feel you want to connect with,
Right.
and you kind of ask her questions like,
Nice.
how are you feeling, and what's hurting you, or like what do you wish you could say or have, or yeah, how are you feeling? And so last year I realized that my inner child wanted to be protected and feel safe.
Yes.
And so, but I was like outsourcing that. So I was trying to
Mm.
get that outside, like
Yeah.
typically usually from dating and like looking for guys to do that for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then when you're like looking at your inner child and she just wants to feel protected, you realize like, oh, I need to be doing that. I need to protect her,
Mm.
you
Mm.
know?
Yeah.
And sometimes with that comes like feeling regret or guilt that you haven't been.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have like a dialogue with your inner child, like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
please forgive me.
Yeah.
And then like the child always forgives, right? So and then even in your meditation, you can hug or like you can do things together, like hold hands or like dance together. So it
Mm.
might sound a little out there, but it's actually really powerful.
Yeah. No, it doesn't sound out there at all. Um, it reminded me of, I think I'm not like the expert in psychology or anything, but there's parts work. I don't know if you heard of parts work.
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
It's reminded me of that, where like there's different parts of us, and then you kind of like
mm,
talk amongst each parts when they're in conflict. So in this case, it's the inner child and the adult version of you, like communicate and see if we can come to like an agreement or some kind of harmony, versus, yeah. But it's so beautiful. I was, when you were talking, I could picture everything that you like were saying. So,
oh yeah.
oh, that's
Yeah, and
so
then after that, sometimes you're inspired to take actions after that. So
nice.
sometimes it's helpful even to like put a baby picture up of you in
Yeah.
on your mirror or something so you can see
Oh,
her, or like the little boy version if you're a guy, and just
hmm.
acknowledge like your heart or your uniqueness and just spend some time like remembering your inner
Mm.
child too.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So that really
Yeah.
helped you to seek. Is that what guided you to the mushroom retreat, or it
I think that's what helped me realize what the root problem was
okay,
for
gotcha.
some of my patterns. And
Yes,
so
yes,
then you can only really fix what you have awareness of or
correct.
heal. And so that helped me to start healing more, like
Got it.
yeah, putting my picture up or saying nice things to her, like making more of an effort to be like almost like a protective father for her.
Yes.
And then I think as I was healing, then I felt like there was so much more underneath
Yeah.
that I needed to reach, but I mean, plant medicine just makes it go faster, I think. So,
Mm, okay, so that led to the mushroom retreat.
yeah.
Yeah, and what did you have visions, or did you have, yeah, what was the experience like there?
Oh man, it was so amazing. I think a lot of people have tried mushrooms, but when
Mm,
you do it at a place that's intentional, so
yeah,
everything is it's treated in such a sacred way, and
yes,
then everything you're eating supports it. Everything you're talking about supports it. There's no TV, you barely use your phone, you walk around barefoot everywhere. And for me, like like you read in my bio, like I mostly have been a corporate working person, and like went through the school system and everything. So I didn't really spend that much time in nature, and then you're immersed in this you just feel in your soul like, oh, this is how we used to live. Like we used to be in nature, we used to be in a tribe, we used to just have conversations one-on-one.
Yeah.
It resonates with something in your soul, like even before you take the mushrooms. And then you do it in such a sacred way with prayer and meditation before. And then there's so much beautiful music happening during the ceremony is what it's called, or the journey. Like really sacred, like really indigenous, like Native American drums and flutes and songs in languages where you don't understand the words, but your soul at least my soul felt like I know this music. I never heard it before,
Of course.
but it's so healing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the mushrooms can be different for everyone. Some people were laughing a lot, like uncontrollably, and then I was mostly crying for a lot of hours.
Sounds like you're releasing a lot.
Yeah. I was releasing a lot emotionally. I'm learning, for me, I think I have a lot of grief stored in my body, and I think it's also from like past generations.
Yes.
And then just like my own. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see visions, like colors and shapes, and then you see music. One thing that was really cool is you see music. So as the song plays, like you see the colors to the song. It's really
Is
cool.
that what you saw?
Really cool.
That is what you saw.
Yeah. With mushrooms, I feel like it's because like it's not microdosing, right? So it's kind of
right, like actual dose.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, what was the maybe like the high point, or what message did you receive during that time that was, epic?
Yeah. So we did 3 ceremonies, so 3 journeys, and the first one was light. Like they didn't give you a lot too much, so it was just an amazing feeling. But the second one, I felt so much gratitude for my whole life, because you feel this healing in your, at least for me, like this healing in your heart that's so deep. Like I'd never been able to touch that deep before.
Yeah.
And that's why I call my company Soul Aloe, because it felt like someone finally put aloe on my soul.
On your
And I'm like, oh my God, feels so good. And so when you're feeling like that, you look back at your whole life and you feel so much gratitude for every low or every sad moment or every like time you think you messed up, because it was all redirecting you back to that moment. So I just spent like so many hours just feeling grateful for everything and everyone, every conflict you've ever had. You just feel grateful because you finally came home.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the third one was, I think I had to clear out some of that crying and stuff about my reflection on my life. And the third one is when my ancestors came in, and I had never really like talked to them before. So they came in and basically were saying that they need, like, basically I'm here to help relieve their pain that they weren't able to. Because if you think about it, like I keep thinking about my mom's side of the family when it comes to that, because she's from Taiwan, and then her parents and the rest of my ancestors are from China. And I barely know anything about them because they fled the country and everything, about my grandparents. So I can just only imagine like how stressful and oppressed and unsafe they probably felt to ever feel their emotions fully.
Yeah.
So I feel like because I got to be born in America, my parents provided a really safe environment for me. Like I worked my jobs to save enough money to go to Costa Rica and do this. It's like part of my purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. So they were there. So I was like really hyperventilating, crying, like, and I couldn't hold it in or anything. But then I could just feel them thanking me at the same time.
Celebrating.
Yeah.
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 And your dad's side is also from ancestry-wise Taiwan and Chinese too, or it's different?
Actually, no, he's from well, he's white, so he's from America. I think my background's English.
Okay,
No?
England. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Oh, that's amazing. We had the ceremony, and that's when you decided to create Soul Aloe based
Yeah,
on
like probably a week after, because it really blew my mind. I never talked to my ancestors before, and I never
that. Right.
realized how powerful intention is. And
Yeah.
you're around all these intent people like behaving in such an intentional way, and I had never seen that before.
Did they ask you to have some type of intention going in, or was it more like open-ended?
We spent time writing out intentions.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's more focused and then effective. Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
What was your intention going in?
I remember I cried on the first day, and we weren't even doing any ceremony that day. And because they said, we're here to create a safe container for you so you can go as deep as you need to within yourself and like feel safe. And I remember that made me cry because I'd never had anybody hold space for me like that solidly with that intention for you to go discover something new, you know? So I think I remember in that moment I was feeling sad, and it's weird, like right before I go on the trip, on both of those trips, like for mushrooms or for ayahuasca, I'm like anxious on my way to the airport. And I feel like, even though you're going to Costa Rica, it's vacation, I'm like anxious because I think my ego at least knows we're about to go through something.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's fearful.
Yeah, the unknown.
So I felt sad. Like the first day when I got there and they're like, what are your intentions? I was like, mine that I could remember right now is I want to relieve this sadness that Emily has always had. Yeah. And I think that I got a good amount out because of the crying.
Right.
So I do think I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Crying seems usually like a release of whatever that is. It just needed to be released, and that's great.
And I always kind of cry. I cry sort of easily and just in general. But what was really profound too is there were a fair amount of men there, and some on the older side, like 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
And they were saying like, wow, I've never been allowed to cry this much ever.
I know.
And yeah, as a woman, I feel like it's okay if I cry, and like nobody, I don't think anybody thinks I'm too sensitive. But with men, I sometimes do feel for them not being able to let out some of those emotions as freely in society.
Completely agree. Wow. So it sounds like you didn't really felt safe in the way that you needed to feel safe throughout life, and also you also had some type of, I'm sure you went through some trauma, you know what I mean? Whatever, you don't have to talk about it at all, but in the childhood or what, is that more of a personal thing, or also you felt the ancestrals like coming in?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I think probably both.
Yeah.
My childhood was like good in many ways, and I love my parents so much, and I'm like honestly so grateful for everything they gave me, like protecting me and providing for me. But like I would say I had I didn't have a specific traumatic incident. Like I know some people have like some really enormous instance happen. I felt like mine was just a daily, everyday, like tense,
gradual, cumulative.
Yeah, like tense and like yelling and.
Was that inside the house or?
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay.
So it's kind of like an everyday thing. So it
was like a tension in the house.
Yeah. So you don't ever really have space to like speak like what you're really feeling. So I was like such a quiet and obedient child.
Are you the only child or
I have a younger brother.
younger brother? Okay.
Yeah.
And the house was that the parents that had a lot of tension that was kind of
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are they like are they like having a marital stuff or more like a
I think
different?
marital stuff, just being so
Yeah,
different. They're so different.
they are. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there's a yeah, different cultural. I'm sure.
Cultural too, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, okay. So you felt like you needed to be quiet because
Yeah.
you don't really have time for your
And I
problems.
just don't like yelling, so, like, I'm like, "Oh,
Right,
man, I
I get
can't
it.
be yelling louder than everyone."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What about your brother? What about was he quiet as well, or
Honestly, he's even quieter than me, yeah.
okay? Oh
Mhm.
no,
Yeah.
okay, I'm just kidding. Yeah, nothing bad. I'm not saying
We
it
need
bad.
to get him to take some ayahuasca probably.
Yeah, I mean, you went through it. You know, you experienced it. Okay, okay, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, I just kind of needed to
Mhm.
was
Yeah.
curious about like where those grief and unsafeness was coming from. So
Yeah.
I mean, you know, some people it's because like for me, in my case, um, okay, yeah, I mean, there was
Oh,
certain things right you go through as a child that I knew that I had to be the one. Like there was nobody's gonna come and help me. I had to be the one to like not be like I have to be there on top of everything. You know, that kind of thing happens. So in a way, you're right. For me, it's almost like I didn't really relax in a way because there's always gonna be something. So I have to like be a certain way. So I definitely want to talk about. I should talk about my story too. But yeah,
yeah.
so I relate to it. So I was just curious in your case, what was happening when you were little, and you know where were this coming from? But then it sounds like that attracted to you to have unhealthy relationship, so to speak, in a way. Is that am I
Yeah, like with
correct?
dating and stuff.
Yeah, like feeling
Yeah.
like you creating the same type of tension, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think that was
Yeah.
yeah,
I've never really been someone that argues a lot or yells.
right?
I think because of my childhood maybe.
Right, makes
Like
sense.
yeah. But I did notice the pattern of so I was kinda ignoring myself when I was a kid because I was
Mm,
just, quiet, and I wasn't speaking my feelings, so I didn't really know how to identify them. So
yes.
that's why inner child work right now is so good for me because 'cause I'll go back and I'll ask my seven-year-old self, like, "How are you feeling? What do you wish you could express that you, like, don't know how
Exactly.
to?"
Oh, that's nice. Oh,
Yeah.
very
I
nice.
just did that last weekend. Um,
Honestly, I really think that expression is so healing. Like it needs to be expressed, you know, or at least validated, you know,
yeah.
after experiencing it. Because I don't know if you know, do you know Gabor Mate? He's like the psychologist, he's specialized in
Mhm.
trauma. I just remember him saying that like it's not the incident that's traumatic, it's the fact that after something happened you're not able to talk about it creates that
Mhm.
like more of a effect. I'm paraphrasing.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I
No,
just remember
totally.
that. So I really do think it's like I don't know if you know Teal Swan. Like I trained under her. She's like the
Mhm.
specialist in shadow work, but her definition of
Mhm.
trauma is anything that doesn't have any resolve. So it doesn't matter how
Mhm.
small or how big, it's whatever wasn't resolved, you know? So
Mhm.
in a way, like if you suppress it, it's not there's no resolution, right? Because it's not being expressed or not even validated or recognized or acknowledged. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think expression is so important, and a lot of the even like diseases, I'm sure you know from being in the medical field, comes from suppression of all emotions. And I mean, definitely, I think so. Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
that's so beautiful. So you went to the mushroom retreat, you created Soul Aloe.
Mhm.
And how has it been since?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. So
Huh?
this is the first time when I'm like getting paid for something where I don't feel like I'm working at all because it's
Nice.
so enjoyable. It's so
Nice.
fulfilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you've heard of human design.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you
Mm-hmm.
know what yours is?
What was it? I'm like the typical one.
Oh, generator.
Yes, generator.
Generator. Okay, cool.
What about you? Reflector?
I'm a projector.
Projector. Cool.
Yeah, so that's like basically, if for people that don't know, it's someone that came to Earth to help guide other people. That's
Mm,
sort of my like general role. And so Soul Aloe is basically that. Like I get to just people can come and they might not feel well or they feel stressed or they like don't know why they can't
mm,
manifest something that they want and
mm.
they come and then I try to soothe them, give them some
Oh,
guidance and tools and then like send them off and then hopefully they will implement things and follow their own guidance to get like along their path where they want to go.
I love it. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so it's really fulfilling for me.
Ooh, just by you speaking about it, I'm being like soothed right now.
Oh,
I
yay.
mean, that's a beautiful, I love that your personal story tied into the name, and it gives like an image and picture of what you can expect when we come into your place. That's
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't want it to sound too like oh
medically.
yeah,
I know it.
because I want like men to feel comfortable coming too. So I kept it like simple stuff like
Beautiful. I think it's brilliant. I love it. It's so
yeah, because
simple.
there's
Mm,
so many spiritual things that are like divine goddesses, and which I
right.
love too, but
Yeah.
it's not for everyone.
Yeah. I love it. Oh, I love it
Yeah.
so much. Especially knowing your background story. That's pretty cool. Pretty like, yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
love that.
yeah, to answer your question like all the way through that you asked before, I do think because I wasn't recognizing my feelings,
Yes,
I
yes.
didn't know what I needed, and then so then I couldn't like give it to myself. I just knew I felt unrestful. Like I
Yeah.
used to not sleep a lot and I liked to party and I would just always be distracted. And
Right.
then I would always be looking for a guy to like make me feel like
Yeah.
understood or validated.
Yes.
So I think I needed to go through like some kind of like I actually have so much appreciation for my exes and none of them actually were like abusive or anything like that. So
Oh, okay.
like I
Thank
can't
God.
say that it was like really bad, but it just I didn't feel good and I wasn't always like appreciated or valued and as much as I wanted to
We were just not
be.
emotionally available, kind of sounds like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But if I'm not holding myself to that standard that I
Correct.
want,
Yes.
then like it's really me.
Yes.
Right? Because we're all creating our own lives. So like I don't blame any of them. Um, but I think, yeah, because I didn't know what I really needed. I hadn't looked inside. I couldn't like find it outside of me. So
Right.
so it was just such a good learning process, like all the dating things that I went through.
Yes.
Hopefully I learned it.
I totally understand. No,
Yeah.
I went through similar things. That's probably why we're connecting right now. So I totally understand. I'm sure a lot of women go through it. I mean, some people's drug of choice could be alcohol, different things. But I think like with women, some women, like it for me, it was definitely the relationship. The men like was like I was kind of almost distracting and numbing myself. So I
Yeah.
totally
Like
understand.
I had to have someone I was addicted to having someone to text, someone to like
Mhm. I see.
like swipe. Yeah, it was a different type of addiction.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. Especially if you didn't grow up with like emotionally available parents, which was also my case. Not that they were fighting all the time. And my parents were super like they'd been together. They were high school sweethearts, so they're
Mm.
like nothing like that. But it's just not. I don't know if it's an Asian thing either, but it's just not emotionally expressive. It's more intellectual level of yeah. So because of that, I think it's something that we learn towards like later on too. So I
Mhm.
totally understand yeah, where you're coming from, and I can imagine what you went through, so I get it. What has been the most challenging part of your journey so far, if any?
Oh, I mean, I feel like there's a lot.
Good.
I don't know. Yeah, all the time. But I guess right now, well, so ayahuasca was really hard
Oh
on
yes,
me.
tell me about
I
that.
felt, yeah, ooh, I just really struggled with it. It's probably the lowest I've ever felt ever because
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
for me it was.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody's different
Because
experience.
I had low moments in life,
Yeah,
but when you have low moments in life, you have distractions and stuff too. So, like, if you're
truths.
feeling really low, I used to watch Grey's
Bypass
Anatomy, or
it.
like, or like
Yeah.
go out for a drink with your
Not
friends,
feel
or
it.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. But when you're on ayahuasca, it's like you can't do anything else,
You
and it's so strong. It's like so intensified.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, that was really brutal. And then the couple weeks when you get back, I felt pretty lost because it doesn't fix you. It just
So
brings your awareness
yes, yes,
higher. So
yeah.
I like realized a lot of my patterns, kind of like my crazy mind,
Mm,
um, and how it was like an ego death, basically.
yes,
So, like, how you have to let go of the person you've known your whole life,
yeah,
like the girl in her 20s, like the
yeah.
girl that's really fought to get to where she is today, but you have to like actually let her go.
Yeah.
It sounds doable, but actually in the moment, it's very hard to do. At
Mm.
least for me, I was
Of
fighting
course.
it
Yeah.
and I basically said no to ayahuasca. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
doing it in
Yeah.
my head. And
Yeah.
so then it was like a slow death for me of the following days.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's good. I
Yeah.
feel better now, but then yeah, then when you get back, you're so aware of your fear. It feels like everything's stronger. So you almost feel like the things that you think work feel like they don't work anymore. Like
Yeah.
writing
Yeah.
gratitudes in the morning, that doesn't work for me right now.
Yeah.
Like watching TV, I couldn't even watch TV because it's like so strong, like you can't even enjoy the show.
Yeah.
But I think the point was, sometimes we have to sit with it and you
Yes.
gotta you just gotta go through it and you
Yeah.
gotta get intimate with it in a way. And then that's the only way that you can understand it enough to like slowly move out of it. But it's not a
Yeah.
fast process. It's like
No.
slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah. You're gonna have to kind of recreate because you rebirth. You know what I mean? You
Yes. It's
recreate.
like starting over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you're faced with darkness. I mean, darkness is that's how powerful I feel. Darkness is like so magical, and that's how powerful you are. That's it's almost like I totally understand because um there's a concept called shadow work, and shadow work is like working with your subconscious. So it's not in
Mhm.
your conscious like level of knowledge wise, and so it's kind of like seeing the shadow part of it, seeing like the things that are hidden, you know. And when I was I was studying, I was trained under the person. Her name is Still Swan, and she has this process. And after that, because it was so important for us to when we do offer that process to like another person, it's so important because or any I think the nutshell is when you do any type of shadow work, because you go into the darkness and you see things that you didn't see before, it's gonna change you so much. So sometimes like afterward they're like the relationship doesn't work, they get divorced, or their life could change drastically because of that. So they like there was always a warning like before you do this, like make sure this is, you know what I mean, you be ready to,
Mhm.
like anything can come out. So I totally understand what you're saying because you went through. I mean, you're a different person, right?
I
Come on.
do feel different. That
Yeah,
sounds so interesting though.
yeah, definitely.
I've
I can
definitely
tell
heard
you.
of shadow work,
I
but
think
I've
you love
never
it.
done like,
Yeah, it's
oh
it's like
yeah.
I think you just did that. I feel like ayahuasca will
Yeah.
show you. ayahuasca felt the need to do that for you. So she showed you that. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
it's so beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, like definitely one thing I noticed afterwards is, so I work at a medical device company,
Right,
and I was kind of thinking I wanted a different job. So I
right.
started interviewing at another medical device company
Yeah,
after ayahuasca.
yeah,
And they're asking me the questions and I'm answering, but like, you're so much more connected with your heart, but like my heart was in none of the answers. It was just like the words I know to say, like from my mind, because I've been doing this career for a while, but my
mm-mm,
heart was not in it at
in it.
all.
Yeah,
And I had to pull myself out of interviewing because, like, you can no long I just feel like I can't do things anymore that don't align with my, like, my soul and my heart. Like, I
yeah.
used to be able to fake things more,
God, yes, I get
you
it.
know?
That's so beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm
But yeah,
glad.
you have to be kinda, like, willing and ready to let some of that stuff go that you
Mhm,
think that's what, like, the path you were gonna be on, and
mhm.
now I don't think that's the path for me.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
Yeah.
realizing that, yeah, and then like realigning to who you are now versus who you were before. So
Mhm.
I'm glad you had the courage to
Yeah.
take that leap of
Thank
faith.
you.
You know what
Thank
I
you.
mean? Because
Yeah,
it could be very scary. So,
it definitely can be.
what do you do any spirit? What spiritual practices or routines do you follow regular? I guess inner child work you mentioned.
I
One of
just started doing more of that because I went and got body work done last week, actually. Have
what
you
kind
ever
of
had
body
that?
work? There's so many,
So,
so I'm just curious.
or it's called just like energetic body work,
Oh,
where
okay.
they do touch you and like push on parts of your body to get out blocks.
Okay,
And
cool.
literally, like, she put gloves on in her hand. She's like pushing inside my mouth and stuff like that.
Wow.
And she's a psychic, so she could see,
Nice.
like, right when I walked in, she
Yeah.
saged me and she's like, "Oh, wow, you have, like, so much stuff."
She,
Um, yeah.
she's like, oh
Like, "Oh
wow.
my god." Yeah, she was really, like, made me feel like she was
Oh.
like, "How are you walking around?" Like,
What?
so yeah. Um, I forgot why I brought that up.
Well,
Oh, but
well,
after
you
that is when I started doing more inner child work because she was
yes,
like looking at my body telling me, "You're way too busy. You're distracting yourself too much. Like your right side is different, like overworked compared
yes,
to your left side, like your masculine over
yeah,
your feminine."
yeah.
Um, so then I spent some more stillness and inner child work, which is like I'm just so glad,
Yeah.
but I hadn't really been doing it. Like I've been just busy, I think, and
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
practices that I've been keeping is meditation every morning,
What do you do?
and
Is that like a silent meditation or do you put a music on or what kind of
yeah, no, that's a
what
good
works for you?
question.
Everybody
Yeah,
different one.
yeah. So since I went and did mushrooms, that they had this such a beautiful altar there for
Uh-huh.
all of us to interact with and use. So then they encouraged us to make an altar at home. So I have an altar at home. And I whenever someone asks me, because for my business I help people get started on meditation, I think having an altar is really helpful. And
Yes.
you can make it however you want, but how they had it was something for the four elements of the earth. So
Beautiful.
like I have something for earth and then water, fire, and air. And then I was reading this book about having a part of your altar for your ancestors. So now I have
Mhm.
like a little bowl for my ancestors. And
Oh,
it's just really nice to have a space in your home that's just dedicated to that. So when you go, you're kind of more immersed in it.
yeah.
And you have like sage and candles.
Yeah.
So I go and do that every morning. And what works for me is I'll sit and I'll just ask, like, how am I feeling?
Okay, beautiful.
And
That's
let's say I feel anxious
yeah.
about money,
Yeah, yeah.
then I'll kind of set an intention like, okay, in my meditation, I want to like work through that or like do some sort of like let's say I want to feel more abundant
Mhm. Mhm.
and trust in the future more when I'm done.
Yeah.
So I'll kind of just like ask myself and then I'll feel something like okay, let's walk into the stream, like literally in my mind, walk into the stream of abundance and picture it falling on me like a cloud of like
Mm,
pink and blue glitter. And I'm
nice.
going to just soak it up. My body's just going to soak it up. So
Mm.
I'll kind of design it based on how I feel.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's kind of like
Yeah.
visualization, but creation at the same time. Oh,
Yeah. And like trying to use your breath with it. So, like,
okay.
imagining when you breathe in the abundance, and then it goes into your body. I read that in a book too. Like, you
Mhm,
actually say it out loud. When I inhale, I breathe in abundance or
mhm,
self love or whatever it
mhm,
is. And you breathe in. And then as you say, as I exhale, I feel it just circulating all throughout my body.
mm,
And
mm.
for me, I can actually, like, I can feel it, I swear, like the tingliness.
Yeah,
And
of course.
so
Yeah.
usually that's how my meditations go. And then since ayahuasca, I have started using hape
Okay. Yes.
um,
Yes.
almost every day, actually. So it's like a tobacco-based powder with some other sacred plants. And so
Yes.
hopefully if you get it from a good source, it's
Yes.
like preyed upon and
Yes.
harvested ethically and stuff. But
Yes.
I'll use that too. So that really helped me so much after ayahuasca when I had so much kind of fear and stuff, because
Nice.
it kind of cuts the noise in your mind, and then it gives you
Gotcha.
quiet.
It calms you down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of gets you, like, I feel like you shoot out of your mind a little, and
Yeah.
it's like such a
Interesting.
relief.
I mean, I had someone know, I mean, they were talking about it. I never really got into any of the plant medicine yet, but, or I don't know, but yeah, I know of it. And I know someone who,
Mhm.
are into it, but I didn't ask like what exactly it does. So I'm so
Mhm.
glad you mentioned that. I mean, would it be different for everyone, or is that hop's main purpose is to do that, like to provide silence almost?
Yeah, or it kind of like, it makes you feel I think it makes you feel more powerful, and like, yeah,
Mm,
quiets the thoughts a
interesting.
bit. But I think it depends on which hape you get, because they make different blends. So
Gotcha.
I think that can make a difference, and then how much you take, how much you do,
And you
probably.
smoke it, right? You put it in the
You
tobacco,
actually,
or
yeah, it's called a caripe, I think. It looks like a V, and you
okay.
actually blow it in your own nose.
Oh, and do you
Yeah.
inhale it, or do you
Yeah,
inhale
you
your
well,
nose?
you inhale just like regular, and then you blow out of your mouth, and it goes in
Oh,
your
cool. Okay.
yeah.
No, I've seen it, but I just never really paid
Yeah.
attention. That's why.
Wait, and I never really, like, did cocaine or anything in my life, but now I'm like, "Oh, wow." I'm, like,
Hey, whatever
really
works.
into this.
I really, I'm a believer of, hey, whatever works for you, do it. It doesn't really matter what it is. But
Yeah,
at
but
the
they
end of
say, like, grandfather tobacco has a lot of wisdom, and so,
mm-hmm.
like, the
Sure.
plant just helps you, connect with,
Oh
like,
my
the
gosh.
sacred wisdom. And
Plants are amazing.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love the plants.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh. Um, are there any spiritual leaders, books, or teachings that have significantly influenced you?
Yeah, I read a lot, and I do a lot of podcasts. Um, I
Okay.
was yeah, I was into Abraham Hicks for a long time,
Okay.
but I feel like I moved past that. But I
Yes,
think for
graduated.
somebody, yeah, I think so. I think of it like
Yeah, that's
that.
how it goes.
Yeah, but I think for maybe when you're new, when you're trying to change the way your thoughts are, that's a really
Mm-hmm.
good place to start, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I read a book called Spirit Hacking right when
Okay.
I was doing ayahuasca, right after. And it's
Okay.
by a
Cool.
shaman Durek.
Okay.
Some of the concepts are like things I'd never heard anybody talk about, like
Mm-hmm.
speaking to spirits a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
um, but I really like that book.
That
I,
was significant for
yeah,
you.
that was a really good one.
Mm.
But I'm a Danny Morell follower of
Oh
podcasts and
yes,
stuff.
yes, yes. My
So I
friend
just
went
went
to
to
his
his
workshop.
seminar. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I just went to
you did?
Awakening. Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. And then I, like, even joined, like, his member, like, his community.
yeah, that's
So we do a lot of calls now through the week, and
Oh,
it has
that's
been really helping keeping my mind on the right
great.
track.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it. Oh, I love it. I
Mhm.
didn't know. Yeah, I just know of him and, you know,
His podcast is good. I recommend. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yes. Oh, nice. And these shape your, I guess it's kind of like shaped your spiritual beliefs and practices as well.
Yeah, I think they are just, it's always evolving, but
Yes, of course.
I like try to read something all the time. But there's a lot of commonalities I'm sure you've seen, like between spiritual leaders, like a lot of the messages are similar.
Yes, the same.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, or pretty
In
much the
a different
same.
way,
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
I
like go
agree.
within. Yeah, quiet the
Be
mind, go
here
in the heart.
now, basically.
Be here now. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What insights or lessons have you learned from your spiritual practice or journey? I'm
Yeah.
curious.
Oneness was a big theme from
Mm,
ayahuasca that I hadn't really felt before. And
wow.
what I'm actually kind of trying to break a pattern of that I have is judgment and criticism.
Yes.
Oh, comparison is probably even the bigger one. Is like
Mm,
comparing myself to others or comparing like
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And so with ayahuasca, though, I spent a whole ceremony. My favorite ceremony was my last one. We had four, where I realized how one we all really are. And there's like literally, I am you and you are me. Like
Yes.
our brothers and sisters in. I kept thinking about Russia and North Korea
Mm-hmm.
for some reason. Like those are our brothers and sisters too.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone that's come before us, and then also the plants, also the animals,
All that is.
also money. Like we really are all the same, like we're part of the same creator energy.
Mm-hmm.
So to think that there's a separation is a false idea.
Yes.
And so I'm really but like I still have my patterns like so I'm really trying to work on not comparing things
Yeah.
and measuring things
Yeah.
and remembering that we're all really one.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So like, okay, I'm healing. I'm working on healing myself. And then sometimes you want to be like, oh, well, like that person's more healed than me. Or like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
person, like you start
Spiritual,
to like,
spiritual ego.
yeah,
Yeah,
like are they more spiritual? Or like,
get it.
well, that's their choice to not heal and I don't have to worry about it. And we don't, because everyone is powerful and everyone is on their own path.
Correct.
But like I do, but like we have to remember that we're all part of the collective. So like I do want my healing to help someone else's healing. And
For sure.
um
For
you
sure.
just to remember like it's not just about me feeling successful. Like I want the community to feel
Yeah.
elevated.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that you're healing is already, healing the community, but I get what you mean as well. You want to
Yeah.
share that experience
Like
with.
I'm not just doing it for me alone though. Yeah, like or I
I
am,
see what you mean.
but
Okay.
like it's just a different perspective. Like my healing is important. It's important
For
that I work on my healing
ancestral
for the community.
generation. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And for people in North Korea who can't do anything,
Of
like they're
course.
so oppressed, like we need to like try to raise our vibration over here to like help hope. Like I just hope, I don't know, but
That's
like
beautiful.
during my whole ceremony, I'm like, oh, I hope that I can heal at least a little so their suffering is like a little less, hopefully.
Yes. Oh, oh, that's so beautiful that you see it your point of view in that way. It's not, yeah, like you're healing not just for yourself, but you feel responsible almost for to heal because you're able to do that right now where you're at
Yeah.
versus people who don't
It's
have
like a
that.
responsibility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't have that knowledge, consciousness, skills, mindset. They are clueless. So I get it. But you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Those of us that are blessed to have what we have, yeah, in a way,
Yeah.
great. I don't know if responsibility is the word, but I know what you mean. You're right.
Yeah,
We should,
maybe not. Or it's like a privilege. It's a privilege.
yeah, and maybe make use of it. You should make use of it, you know?
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. Oh, I love
But
that.
but like also like not judging yourself. So like if you're not ready or you're not like going as fast as you think, like because it once you start judging yourself, then you're like off track, you know? Like it's
Yeah,
whatever pace you need, wherever you're at is fine. Just keep
yeah.
going.
Accept as is. Yeah.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Yeah, I get, yeah. Yeah, because sometimes we judge the self that are judging.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Like, oh,
It's
I don't
okay to
mind.
judge. You know, it's okay to judge. It's part of human being. Um,
Yeah.
ooh, this is a tough. What does spirituality mean to you on a personal level?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I think spirituality is connecting with
Mm,
my higher self. I
mm-mm.
guess if you could
Yeah,
call it like a lot of
like,
different things, but
yeah,
like my intuition, really hearing my intuition and listening.
yes,
Yeah, I
love
guess
it.
that's what it means to
And
me, I think.
how has your spiritual journey impacted other areas of your life?
Oh man, I think it affects everything. So, like,
Mm,
I'm changing my career, like starting business, changing my
right,
career.
right.
How I spend my time is different. I barely watch TV ever now. I
Mhm,
like don't even think about it.
mhm,
And then I don't go out really as much
mhm.
right now. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, I don't think, but I
Right.
don't like it
Yeah,
right
yeah, yeah.
now. Like,
You're not.
going
Yeah.
out for drinks, I just don't feel like doing.
Yes, yes.
Um, and then with dating, like, so right now, I
You got out of the
actually don't.
relationship.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was like a year ago,
Okay.
um, but right now is actually the first time in my life where I don't even think about dating really, because it's not like
Mm,
a need that I feel like I need to fill.
yeah,
So that's been nice, just
that's beautiful.
being,
You're
yeah,
dating
like
yourself.
enjoying my own growth, dating
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
I'm open, like, of course I'm open to it, but I really
Good.
don't feel like it's the time. I don't
I
know.
gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
well, it's not the
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
What?
and then my relationship, I would just add, like, my relationship with my parents has
Oh, yes.
improved a lot,
Oh,
just especially since ayahuasca, because I spent so much time appreciating them and in my
oh,
ayahuasca ceremony. So my compassion in general, I think, is higher because when
yes,
you realize the oneness part, like, it's hard
yes,
to be mad at someone
yes,
because I am them and they are me. So, like,
yes.
I feel like compassion is easier, and then I've just had such a like, right now, my relationship with my parents is so good. I like it warms my heart so much.
Yeah, I love that you brought it up because to me too, it's spirituality is not it's not nothing and it's not it's about being a source of compassion if in my opinion. So if you're not like you can do all kinds of spiritual stuff you want, but if you're not being if to me that's like the measurement almost like of how you're not progressing, but you know what I mean? Like 'cause you
Mhm.
can be spiritual and there's so many videos and memes about it. I don't know if you know about it that makes fun of people who are spiritual because they're like
Mhm.
so crazy. I mean, they're like all that, but because they're forgetting that the point is to is the oneness, the unconditional love, the spirituality, not to be healed or better than you know what I mean. People who are not
Totally.
quote unquote spiritual. So I love
Yeah.
that you brought it up, and yeah. Um,
Yeah.
what advice would you give to someone who is just starting their spiritual journey?
Oh, I love that question. I'd say it's good to try to meditate every day if you can, even if it's just for 5 minutes. And it's probably going to feel horrible at first,
Mm,
but just to try.
yeah.
So, just I think in the morning, just try because
Mm,
that's how it was for me. Like 5 minutes felt like such a long time, and I felt so antsy the whole time.
oh
Um,
yeah.
but you kind of have to just work through it. So, I would just recommend try to meditate every day. But yeah, be gentle with yourself.
Yes.
Take time to be still if you can. Like, just hang out with you, and just keep one step. It's just one step at a time, and it'll unfold perfectly like how it's supposed to. So don't like over stress. And
Oh,
what you were reminding me of earlier was
mm.
my intention for ayahuasca. One of them was
Yeah.
work related. Like,
Okay.
what should I do with my career, or like what should I change?
Yes.
And the only thing that I got was like, it doesn't matter what your job is, just be kind to the person in front of you.
Oh my gosh, so
Be
beautiful.
kind to the soul in front of you. Because truly, what else really matters other than like
Exactly.
that other soul right there?
Exactly. That's your soulmate.
Yeah,
The person
yeah.
in front of you. Yeah.
Because like that present moment you're in with that like real life soul,
Yeah.
there's nothing more important.
Yes.
So,
Oh,
like, if we can,
beautiful.
like, just all try to do that a little bit more, like, just try to be present with the person, like, at the grocery store or wherever you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh. What do you think is the most important quality for someone exploring spirituality to have? Similar.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like that though.
Yeah.
Um, I think just like, honestly, I think be gentle with yourself because it's like,
Mindfulness.
it's tough sometimes.
Yeah.
And I was on a call yesterday, like, with part of Danny Morell's
Oh, yeah,
group.
yeah.
It
Uh-huh.
was like a live call, and one of the members was talking about like struggling with alcohol addiction.
Yes.
And I just really love what Danny said because he was like, even if you drink, like, can we get rid of the guilt? Because
Correct.
like the way that you are right at that moment is perfect for that
Yes,
moment.
exactly.
Like, you don't have to hold yourself to some standard. Like, you like definitely work on it,
Yeah.
but give yourself the grace to like go through the process and like
Yeah.
take the time you need.
Yeah.
But
Well
because it's
said.
not really about the drinking,
No,
it's
it's
about the guilt
exactly.
after,
Exactly.
So like, can you just accept that you're doing the best you can and you have a lot of other good qualities
Exactly.
and like you're gonna get through this. So
Yeah.
like, don't over like put so much on one night of drinking. Like,
Yeah.
don't put too much, you know.
Don't traumatize yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, don't torture yourself and punish
Towards
yourself like
yourself.
even more afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh yeah, very well said. That's so true. I mean, even
So
if you
yeah, like with
do.
me, like if I'm judging people, or if I'm
Mhm.
criticizing myself, it's like, oh
Mhm.
darn, I did that again. But like, if I was gonna get really hard on myself about it, then it's just making everything worse.
Yeah,
So
you're
I think that's the
criticizing
advice
your critical self,
yeah. Yeah.
which is the same thing. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
get it.
that's like maybe the advice I give, like, be light on yourself. Like, give yourself, like, don't be so hard on yourself all the time. Everyone's so hard on ourselves.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember. Yeah, that was one of the things. I was at the when I was training for um the shadow work practitioner training, and at the time I took a role that is completely opposite of who I am. I almost was like playing this rebel in that particular group for some reason, but I was supposed to do that.
Mm.
So that was all okay. But after that, at the end, someone was like, be kind to yourself. Because at the end of the day, the reason why I was harsh was because I was really harsh on myself. So,
Mhm.
he knows that. So yeah, that exact same word, be kind to yourself. So I just remembered that. So think,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so important, right? We forget to be kind to ourselves.
Mhm.
No, yeah. What are your few oh are there any upcoming spiritual retreats, workshop, or practice you're excited about?
Oh, well, I'm hosting a little
I
one.
know.
I
I
maybe could
know.
mention. Oh.
Yes, tell us.
Oh, thanks. Um, so, like, truly, I hope no one from my job, like, necessarily watches this podcast, but truly, I wanna quit my job, but I haven't yet because it hasn't felt right. Like, I'm waiting for,
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
the right timing.
Mhm.
But, like, a few weeks ago, I had to go in the office, and I don't really like going in, but I just decided, I'll have a good attitude as best as I can, and we'll go in.
Yeah.
Long story short, like, all the so many of the girls there were asking me about my business and like were so
Yeah.
supportive. And a couple of them came and asked me like, can you create um like a women's community? Like I really feel like I need that in my life. And like they literally came to me, and I
Oh,
just, that fulfills me so much because I literally am trying to help soothe people so they feel a
yeah.
little better along their path. So that's why I started the soul circles
Yeah.
for women.
Love
So
it.
starting this, so yeah, thank you. So I have 3 Thursdays in August where I'm kind of trialing it.
Yeah.
And what it is just going to be, sitting in a circle on the floor in my studio that I have in Lake Forest, which is just basically a tiny room. And we'll do some meditation. One thing that is also changed for me since my journey, and especially since ayahuasca, is I started singing a little bit, and I
Ooh.
never, ever, ever, ever sang ever. And I was such a shy kid, and
Amazing.
but like I think the plants open up your voice, or you just realize how healing your voice is in music.
Mm.
And so like maybe I don't know, we'll see, maybe I'll sing for people
Yeah.
as I like do Reiki on them or something. And then I really want to give everyone an opportunity to share like what their intention was for coming, maybe something they're going through that they need support on.
Beautiful.
And then hopefully after the events, like create an online community where they can
Yeah.
have little groups. I think the power of meeting in person is just so awesome, but like that's hard with our schedules. So I'm just trying to create more community for women to feel supported and be around like-minded people that are like really working on themselves and really trying to go deep and be present and support each other. So I'm really excited to see how it goes.
I love it.
Yeah.
I must say, your presence is like already soothing. You have that
Oh,
soothing. Yeah, no, I'm serious. So
oh, that's such
you
a
needing
compliment for
that,
me.
because you're very, very feminine. To me, I'm feeling a lot of feminine presence. So I
Oh,
think
thanks.
it's so perfect to lead a woman, like
Yeah.
women's circle for you, because I think you kind of embody that femininity. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So,
thank you.
yeah,
I
totally.
definitely have always felt really comfortable around women. Like I've mostly had
Yeah,
girlfriends and
gotcha.
yeah,
Yeah, that makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah.
So I'm
Oh,
excited.
exciting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Mm, let's see. What do you have? What are your future goals or aspirations on your spiritual path?
Ooh. Right now I'm working on my relationship with money.
Uh-huh.
Because
Yeah.
I reached a certain point in my career that I wanted to, and then I had never really visioned beyond it. And then
Yeah.
now that I have a business, I have all this fear that I'm working through with it.
Yeah.
And so I've come a long way already in my mind, but I want to be doing like Soul Aloe full time, and I
Yeah.
want to eventually like have more locations and like
Ooh,
actual employees that do
yes.
healing too. And I
Nice.
want to get invited to speak places and
Yes.
just be really present with people. And so that's definitely something I'm working on visioning more. And like I've been working on my social media, but it's just so funny because I only really have been focused for like a week on it.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
And even I'm like, how come I'm not like, how come I don't have like 10,000 followers yet? Like,
Oh yeah, it's already there. Yeah.
like
Hey,
my
it's
ego is like, how
important.
come it's not working?
It's
But
important
I'm
to
still
have
working
the
through that.
business mindset, that
Yeah,
you cultivated that. So yeah.
yeah. I'm trying to work on like not limiting myself
Um,
though with the business stuff right now.
right. The numbers.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a really important. Yeah, I understand too. Relationship with money is a tough one. Yeah, not tough, but it's kind of. I don't know. Not that many people talk about it. I mean, there are. I think there are literature and things like that, but It's another area that I haven't really like delved
I
into
mean,
it.
because they say it's just another energy. So like
Exactly, but it's
it's
like
just a
different.
tool.
Yeah,
But yeah, we have a lot of us have blocks to it and stuff based on our childhood, and
exactly.
yeah.
exactly them in the society and the concept and
Yeah.
maybe the father wound. I
Yeah.
heard it's a father wound, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Politics and the news and stuff, like
Oh, yeah.
all of that. Yeah.
Mm, okay. If you could spend time with any spiritual teacher or in any sacred place, who and where would it be?
Oh, the sacred place I want to go to is Egypt,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the pyramids, I think, because
Mm,
I have this part of me that feels like I was there in a past life or something. Like I've never done a past life regression, but there's something I want to feel, like I want to feel it.
yeah,
Like I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
go to Egypt.
Beautiful.
Yeah. But for spiritual leaders, I'm not really sure. But I have a fascination, like I guess they go together with Cleopatra. So if I could meet her, like go back
Interesting.
in
I
time.
was just reading about her, and now you're mentioning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really into her.
Ooh.
So it'd
Yeah,
be so cool to
she's
meet her.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying I get it. I mean, she
Yeah.
was a powerful, powerful being, you know? Yeah.
Mhm.
I think I read it in there's a book called, I can't remember. It's by Robert Greene. He's not like spiritual leader or anything like that, but what's the book? It's about psychology, and how
Uh-huh.
Cleopatra, she wasn't like the super most beautiful, but she was intelligent and she knew psychology, kind of thing.
Mm,
Yeah. So
cool.
yeah. So
Love that.
yeah.
Like,
Um,
I'm just curious what it felt like to be her. Like, how stressed was she? Or was she not? Like,
mm,
how did it feel inside of
that's
her, like, while she's leading and stuff? Like, did she
right.
put up a front and then inside she felt different, or did she feel, like, powerful throughout?
That's
Like,
a
I
great
just
question.
wonder
I'd
that
like
stuff.
to know. Let me know if you
Mm.
find.
Yeah. I'll let you
I think
know.
it's also cool to bring like goddesses, different goddesses, and study them
Mm.
because yeah,
Mm.
because sometimes like when I needed the compassion, so right after that for like a workshop that I needed the compassion just came through. I
Mhm.
was so drawn to there's a goddess called Kuan Yin. It's
Mm, mhm.
yeah, and then I felt like I needed to buy her. I have her a picture here. Like I have so many like gods and
Oh, I love
goddesses in my
that.
room.
I love that.
Yeah, so I think I think it's gonna be interesting to you know in your women's circle,
Mhm.
not to make it another like divine
Yeah.
goddess circle, but
I mean, there's a reason people like that stuff, though. It's
true, yeah,
powerful.
because we're
Yeah.
goddesses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
All of
that's
it.
right. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, is there anything else you like to share with our listeners about your spiritual journey?
I mean, just thank you guys for listening and for having me. Really fun to be here. Anything else I want to share? I think I would just want to say, whoever you are, there is never going to be another human being that's exactly like you.
Yes.
The way you look, the way you think, the way you feel, and then with your exact experiences in life.
Yes.
So everything about you is special.
Yeah.
And your life this is all from what I learned from ayahuasca, but your life really is a love story
Yes.
of you. So
Yes.
take your time with it, be gentle, and like even love how you are in your lows, like when you're upset, like you're perfectly being you. So
Yes.
there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
So because I think it's so easy to be like comparison is just so easy to do with social media and
Mm. Yeah.
dating apps and everything.
Mm.
But truly, there's no one, like everyone is so unique. Everyone has a gift, and yeah, I would just love for more people to remember that and just like love themselves. Yeah.
Oh, so beautiful. Cry. What a theory. That was so beautiful. It's so true.
Oh, thanks. I really was crying about that during ayahuasca because she showed, like, Mama Ayahuasca was showing me that, like,
Mhm.
take your time to, like, look at your fingernails and your fingertips. Like, these are unlike any other human ever,
Yeah.
right? Or like your mouth. Like, I keep forgetting, but she was trying to remind me, like, even when you put chapstick on or lip stuff on, like you won't get to do that forever,
No. No.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's like even that is precious. Like everything about you is precious.
Yeah.
Um,
It
so
is.
go
And
slow, take your
mhm,
time. Yeah.
beautiful. Aw. How can our audience follow your journey and stay connected with you?
Oh, yeah. Well, I have Instagram, so it's at soul period aloe. I do
Okay.
need some more followers, so come on by. And then I
Okay.
just started TikTok too, which is the
Ooh,
same, I think. I've been
nice.
I've been doing it for like a week, but it's fun actually. And then my
Yay.
website is soulaloe.com.
Solo.com. I will
Yeah.
definitely, so I'm gonna put on your links in the
Thanks.
video. This will be on YouTube and Spotify. But oh, this was so healing, soothing,
Oh, thank you
just
so
as you
much.
are.
Yeah.
I feel like we can go on and on and on. But
Well, and I didn't even get to learn anything about you, which
I
I would
know.
like
Well, I
to.
really wanted to. I mean, I talked a lot, honestly, but yeah,
Oh,
definitely we can keep
next
going and talk
time.
about this. Yeah, like we can do another version, and but I'm so happy. I'm so grateful to meet you
Yeah, you
and do
too.
this together and be in this journey together. And
Yeah.
I get to see you every Tuesday, and
Yes.
like we're in the same, like, you know what I mean? We were in the dance, but we also like really into spirituality, and
Yes.
I'm so excited
I
to.
love that.
I love that. Like everything that you're trying to do excites me as well. So if there's anything that I could contribute, like I would love, to be part of it as well, and vice versa,
Mm.
obviously. That's
Yeah,
why.
well, I would love to learn more about the shadow stuff,
Yes,
and like I want to learn more how you got into dance and what you love about it too. And
yes,
I love collaborating, so
yes. I love
yeah.
collaborating too. That's
Well,
perfect.
anything, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much, Emily. It was
Yeah.
so
I'll see
nice.
you in a little bit,
I'll see you
right?
in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I loved it.
My pleasure. I loved it too. Thanks for sharing.
Okay.
So
Of
like open.
course.
Yes.
Yeah, it just like came out. Like part of my mind was like, are you sure you want to say
Honestly, I know.
that?
I
But
was like, I don't know how much I'm supposed to be asking, but
I'm
I
like, oh
tend
well,
to.
I'll just say
I
it.
was like pacing myself too because I don't want to like,
Oh, you're good.
this
Yeah.
is
You're
public.
good.
So you know what I mean. Yeah.
It's
But
okay.
I'm
I'm
glad.
excited.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Well, I will
we'll
see
see you in a
you.
bit.
Yeah. And thank you so
Okay.
much,
Drive
everyone.
safe. Bye.